Hello and welcome all in this video. So we are going to discuss about the cage culture, which is one of the part of fishery science, one of the topic of the fishery science. So here is about the cage culture, in which the fish species, particular type of fish species are grown in this cage culture. So in this video, we are going to discuss about what is cage culture, in which country this method is started and then applied, which species are suitable for such a culture, shape of the cage, size of the cage, types of the cage, installation of the cage, aim of cage, design of cage, harvesting of the fish which is grown in that particular area, advantage of cage culture and limitation of cage culture. So let us see first of all about the cage culture. So in many part of the world, the only water available is flowing water or large bodies of water where fish culture is impossible, and it is also as possible to divert this water into pond. So where there the water scarcity in that particular area, or where the water is not in large form, so there the cage culture takes place. So in this water, therefore fishes are cultured in small cages. Cage culture can also be practiced in areas like swamps where there is a water not being used for any other purpose. Scientific cage culture of fish is a recent practice developed in many parts of the world. Although the culture of fish in cages and have been practiced since long in certain part of the Asia. The present scientific practice of cage culture originated from temporary stocking of fish certain containers. So the cage culture was first started in Cambodia, from where such a practice transferred to Thailand, then to Indonesia. Further, it was transferred to Vietnam and Japan. In 1964, cage culture spread widely to many countries of the world. In India, since 1980, this cage culture is started. So, uh, countries and the important fish used for the culture in cages, this is the next point. So, the fish species traditionally cultured in cages were chiefly local species. However, the choice of the species cultured depend upon the seed availability and market demand. Presently, among inland fish species, salmon, toad, that is salamo, channel catfish, milkfish, big head carp, and common carps are the species, and many more species such as morels, tilapia, magur, singi are also now taken in cage culture in different part of the world. Among marine fish species, sea bass and sea bream are the most common. Next, shape of the cages. The cages of various fish shapes such as square shaped, rectangular shaped, circular or boat shaped are used in many countries. Although use of square and rectangular shapes are more common. Then about size of cages. The size of cages vary greatly from 40 to 10,000. The largest size of cage are about 10,000 meter cube. But the practical size of cage adapted are usually 20 to 60 m cube. Even 40-meter wide circumference cage is used for culture of sea bram and sea bass in Spain. Smallest cages of measuring about 1 meter square are often used for rearing fry and fingerlings or early juvenile stages. Then about types of cages. Cages are chiefly of the following types, that is floating cages, fixed cages, submerged cages, movable cages. Then about installation of different cages. So suitable site fulfilling the environmental and water quality requirements of cultured species to be taken under cage culture has to be selected. The method adapted for installation of cage depends on its position in the system. If floating cages are proposed to be installed, then these have to be installed in lake reservoirs. Fixed cages are installed in rivers, streams, or fast flowing waters. Similarly, submerged cages and movable cages can be installed in offshore regions of the sea at practiced in the Japan. Then about principal aim of cage culture. The principal aim of the fish culture, that is, this culture is for in the cage, in that particular cage, to practice monoculture of selected species. Cage culture of morels in swamps has a promising future. Cage culture has been used in some countries in very fertile waters, that is polluted from sewage water, with very good result. Then designing of cage. It includes materials used for cage fabrication, type of cages and their installation procedure in the aquatic system. Materials used for fabrication of cages varies in relation to the body of the cage, frame, float, sinkers and attachment of the feeding equipment in that cage. The body of the cage is made up of nylon cloth, which is knotless or knotted, webbing depend on the size of the fish to be reared. Frame of cage may be collapsed, made of galvanized iron, conduit iron tube, or high density polypropylene pipes. Other common plastic polymer products used for cage designing are mainly low density polypropylene, polyvinyl chloride, polystyrene, polyamide, polyethylene, fiberglass, reinforced plastic, etc. In many cases, wooden or bamboo frames are used for cages, although the durability of these is less in comparison to that of frames that fabricate out of the plastic polymers or irons. The material for float used in cages are either plastic, wooden, or other cheap material. Sinkers made up of clay, constituted bricks are used in keeping the position of cage. So this is about the some points about that cage culture, and remaining points are of the about the that is cage culture, that is which are different type of fish species are used, what is stocking density, then which type of feed is given to that particular fish which is cultured in the cage, fish production, harvesting period, what is the harvesting period, how the harvesting takes place, then advantages of the fish culture and limitations of the fish culture. All these points will be discussed in our second part of this video in the cage culture.